Hey, algebra students, you guys are my advanced students. I want to give you one more example of how just learning this one skill, evaluating expressions, will also help you much further down the line. It can help you skip whole units. In fact, take a look at this. It says the equation y equals 4x minus 1 can be used to find any point xy on a certain line. Complete the table by evaluating the equation for each of the given values of x. And you might say, Kate, I don't know this. You told me you weren't going to teach me about lines until Unit 2. And you're right, I'm not. Lines are Unit 2. But look at how this is just what we've been doing. Like, you don't even have to understand much about lines in order to apply our skill of evaluating. They're asking you to evaluate the equation. Well, where's the equation? There it is. Y equals 4x minus 1. And we're going to evaluate the equation for each of the given values of x. Looks a little different, but we have an equation. We want to evaluate it. We want to find out what it's equal to when we know x. Now, you might come over here and look over here and say, well, Kate, they say x is a lot of things. And that's the point. With a line has a lot of different points on it, right? Imagine that you were connecting the dots, dot, 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 making enough dots all together to draw a line. But you still don't even need to understand that to realize these are all values of x. Just plug them in and see what happens to y. Like, literally. Just plug them in, see what happens to y, and don't worry so much. Like, stop with the panic attack, okay? Guys, so first one I'm going to test is -2. And I'm literally just going to plug it in. I want to know what y is equal to when I change x into -2. So let me do it, okay? And again, you'd have your calculator if you're doing this on the GED. And you could do the whole thing in your calculator, but I'm going to do it by hand. So order of operations says multiply before I subtract. So 4 times -2 is -8. And if I minus 1 from -8, I get -9. So what is y when x is -2? Well, y is -9. Let me put that into my table. You're like, oh, not as hard as it looks, is it? No, it's not. And we can just keep doing that, okay? Okay, so next line says, well, how about when you make x -1? Well, let's try. So y equals 4x minus 1. What does y equal to when I turn x into -1? Well, this time, 4 times -1 is -4. And if I subtract 1 from that, well, that'll give me -5. So this time y is equal to -5. And don't let the negatives be the thing that confuse you, okay, you guys? You can totally do -4 minus 1 in your calculator. Okay, and let's keep going. How about what would y be if I made x into 0? Well, let's take a look. 4 times 0 minus 1. 4 times 0 is, of course, 0. And if I have nothing and I take away 1, I'm going to end up in the hole by 1. So in that case, y is equal to -1. My goodness, not as near hard as it looks, is it? 2 more values. Let's try. Let's try when x is 1. So I will turn x into 1 this time. So in that case, y would be the same as 4 times 1 is 4 minus 1. So y would just be 3. And how about if I turned the x into 2? I mean, I guess the key here is really just testing one number at a time. 4 times 2 is 8. And if I minus 1 from that, I get 7. And boom, I filled in my table by evaluating with my equation. Again, I didn't really need to know much about lines. And so that's kind of the thing that makes algebra easier than you guys think. We're really just using 3 big skills over and over again. This skill, that's substitution. The next skill, simplifying, that's when we do the operations they tell us to do. So in this case, we were multiplying and subtracting. And then solving. Working to find out what something's equal to. We kind of did that here too. Those are the 3 big skills of algebra. Like, if you just have those 3, we can apply them in thousands of contexts. It's not 1,000 things to learn. It's 3 things to learn that show up 1,000 times. Whole different ballgame. All right, you guys. If you did good work, super duper proud of you. Happy learning.